war for the government because you buy into this bullshit idea, regardless of whether or not it's
But it
the
doesn't
United
matter.
States.
Are you
It doesn't
alive?
matter.
Are
It
you alive?
doesn't matter.
Are you alive? Yes or no? Are you alive? Do you have support from the government? Can you walk on your pavement? Can you walk on your pavement, go to Starbucks and get back without being robbed or shot?
In a
and
modern
never get
context,
internet?
yes, that is true. In modern.
What's there to worry about? People
The worry is that
people
you
and
realize that when you get involved in that and you start killing people and you start torturing people in the name of
are you killing, torturing, or fucking up with other people?
I'm not in war as of current, so no. Obviously,
No.
I haven't been in war, but I'm saying that in the past, people have gone to war. And I'm saying in the past, people have done horrendous things in the name of nationalism and in the name of the fake idealism that goes with your country. And there's a difference.
It didn't work out. They've died. We've passed on, and we live. And we can masturbate, watch to porn, and we can eat Starbucks coffee and
That's
buy.
what you're thinking now, but until we go to World War III, it's not going to be that easy because history has a tendency of repeating itself. And you have to go to war, my friend. You're going to be drawn to it too because your government will lie to you too because the government lies to everything. Everyone.
There's also the slow burn of you having all your rights taken away and the slow increase in taxes and the poor return that you get for that.
It doesn't happen quite like that. It happens first with
but the government is basically the state and you are the state. In enormous quantity.
There's a huge difference.
You personally on the state, but we're talking about the lies that are used to manipulate to create a mandate to
create war and death and atrocity.
Not just that, but the ridiculous laws that infringe, like the war on drugs and things like that.
Oh God, that's American bullshit. That is American bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about in the real world context.
No.
Like, I'm sorry, but
like the
well, I'm British. I'm talking about the right to bear arms, which is taken away from us over the past God knows how many years.
Right to bear arms, which is stupid.
To the right to free speech, which you're not even allowed to joke.
The government doesn't give you any fucking rights. Let me straighten that out. The government gives you no fucking rights. You can exist and live your life without the fucking government's rights.
I just gave that argument to you before when I said the people around the government. Okay?
Yeah, it is the people around the government.
Look at it in the context of what I'm talking about. Look at it in the context of what I'm talking about. Look at it in the context of what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about free speech and taking away free speech, I'm talking about that. They're doing just that.
Free speech is used to manipulate you and used to convince you to go into things that you don't even know you're going into. That's a question that I have, because back in Nazi Germany, freedom of speech was used for propaganda for Hitler to kill the Jews. Let's be honest now. And that freedom of speech was used. It counted as freedom of speech.
No, people who opposed that were shut down. And they did exactly what they're doing now.
They did not completely oppose that, because if they completely opposed that, then Nazi Germany would not
have
occurred, and the Jews would not have been murdered the way they have.
What are you even talking about? People did oppose that, and they were shut down, just like today. If anybody speaks out,
the majority were silenced by fear and propaganda.
You're really losing the plot here.
You are ignoring history by saying that. You are ignoring history by saying that, because
you're just completely losing track of the argument now.
You are losing track of the argument because you do not recognize the historical value of what really happened with human beings and what really happened. No,
I don't, because I can tell you exactly what my argument was. My argument was that we are losing freedom of speech in this country because the government are coming in saying you can't say.
Are we really losing freedom of speech, or is it the government that is manipulating its own freedom of speech. What about the people in government who also have the freedom of speech? Don't they have the freedom of speech to oppress freedom of speech? Isn't that?
That's not freedom of speech.
Freedom? Actually, it is.
No, that's not the same thing. No, it's really not.
Government. That's why you are
this
in government
conversation.
Right now.
This conversation is AIDS.
It is not AIDS because you do not recognize that in government they can provide quote unquote freedoms, but they can override freedoms in addition to those freedoms, and that is what you fail to recognize. There are freedoms.
That the alcohol has had some kind of tertiary effect here on you, and it's made you into a
I absolutely acknowledge that the alcohol has an effect. I have bravado, that is bullshit. I have self-confidence, that is also bullshit. And I have some sort of subconscious thing that's going into effect right now that is bullshit. It all is fucking bullshit. This isn't who I really am. But at the same time, bravado. Damn. That just got intense. That's why you should not drink it. You can't tell when INFJs and why they're being for real. I feel like that was kind of intense for me because I'm not usually one to go into these sort of like this.
Oh, explains a lot. Like about me rather than you. Like why I don't see it as intense. Because I see it all the time and now it's just like, they've disagreed, I'll disagree with them, we'll fight for about 10 minutes and learn something. Possibly me, possibly them. Let's do it. Let's run that shit. Who's the blankie?
I think that's a beautiful viewpoint, so I love that. But I'm drunk right now, so I think that I don't know what just happened.
I hope you're drunk enough that you'll not remember what I'm saying right now, so I can say whatever I want. And you
can tell me how much you want to fuck me and how beautiful I am, and I'll be like, yeah, baby, let's do it. And then we can go from there. I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that I really give a shit. I was sober. Like, I mean, I guess I'd be like, oh, well, that's different, and maybe I freak out. But right now, it's just like, nah. You want to fuck me? That's your own desire. That's just like out of human desire. But I liked that debate. Like, that debate was, I don't know, maybe that he realized that he was arguing with a drunk person and I was just being pushy. But I don't know. I just kept getting flashbacks from something. Like, it was like an eternal thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's not me. What happened there, like, consciously.
That's why I hate FI. Just say shit. That's what FI does too, in my opinion. It's like,
yeah, FI just like butt rapes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a representation of why FI in that situation there doesn't have to be an ENT.
That wasn't FI. That was a past life coming through to me.
No, that was obviously.
That's not me. That isn't me. Well, maybe it's me. Maybe it's a me that I just have been not conscious of. And that could be the case. That could be the past life of me that I just choose because it's horrible. But there's an element of truth to that. It's like, and people fail to see that truth.
what you're saying is kind of true, but your point of view that it's bad is bad. I mean, yes, we're manipulated and fucking fucked in the ass by the government balls deep, but that still doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, if we wouldn't be anal probe.
I don't think the government is completely bad. I just think that there are times where people who are really in the government do bad things. And that was the societal thing that I was arguing for, was that...
Yeah, but it's alright.
I'm trying to verbally and capture the full depth and breadth of what I'm trying to communicate, but I can't. And it will ultimately be perceived by one side. But there's so much more to it. There's so much depth there that I can't even verbally communicate it, because it's not just the government, it's also the people.
There's not much. You have animals that have developed to have a functional brain to actually grasp abstract concepts because they were smoking shrooms and shit, and that influenced the monkey evolution, so we became sentient beings. And because of that, we think that we can jerk our dicks off to fucking social justice rights, but that's not true. We have done some fucking into the fact that we are sentient beings that are capable of abstract thought that doesn't give us any more value than we produce. We're still animals. We're still animals, and we need to be under siege. We need to be under control. If we are not to be under control, we're completely fucked.
I think to some extent some control is good, but it depends as to what kind of control. And that's kind of what I was going back to, is who's controlling us as animals, really controlling us. Because you can also have cruel masters who will sadistically torture you just for their own sadistic purposes, just to have mastery over you. And it's just like... You got to be careful. You got to know who's having control over you and what their intention is. That's what I'm arguing for.
That's fucking psychopathic, but imagine people as sheep, right? You need a shepherd. You need a shepherd to govern them around, as the government govern them around, and the shepherd is the government.
Yeah.
And so without the government, the sheep would have no fence, the sheep will be stray, and the sheep will just run all over the place, eat poisonous shit and die, get hunted down and everything. But with a shepherd, he has a fucking stick and he beats down the fucking fox that wants to eat the sheep and shit. That's the government. That's the state. The state is the place within the fence, including the shepherd and the sheep.
I think to some extent it's okay to have a shepherd, but you just gotta make sure that shepherd is not a wolf in shepherd's clothing. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that's what it comes down to, because some shepherds will want to kill you and want to like.
No sheep likes a shepherd, but without a shepherd, the sheep will die.
It depends on the kind of shepherd, because like the shepherd will try to kill you and will try to cook you for dinner if you aren't careful. So you got to be careful with what kind. Follow.
Have you seen a shepherd kind to their sheep?
I've seen kind shepherds, and I've seen also cruel shepherds that have like beheaded their sheep in the name of Islam to fucking do shit to them and cook them for dinner and shit. And it's in reality with sheep, have you seen nice shepherds? Realistic view. Like, I mean, realistic.
There are no nice shepherds.
They are not. I guess it depends as to the kind of shepherds.
Are there sheep that like shepherds?
It depends on the kind of shepherd.
Because they were nice to them, and they've acknowledged the fact that they were nice to them. Are there any such shepherds?
It depends on the kind of shepherd. Because, like, I mean, somebody are kind shepherds, and then there might be a cruel human who they might mistake for a shepherd.
Yeah, but is there any shepherd that kind of helps the sheep in the way that the sheep acknowledges it and knows about it? Is there?
Yes, there are kind shepherds. It depends on the kind of shepherds.
How?
I think my mom got home. No, I don't think that's my mom. It's just somebody. I don't know. I'm debating online. That's stupid. I don't know. I think it just depends on a lot of things because sheep are sheep and they can be fooled. So it can depend because somebody can appear as a shepherd and slaughter the sheep. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about. That's the main gripe I have. And it's like, you got to use discernment because it's easy.
Yeah, but I mean, what does the shepherd do? What does a shepherd do?
A shepherd protects the sheep for the most part. A shepherd is kind. A shepherd should be trustworthy. But there's a difference between idealism and there's a difference between somebody who could come through and pretend to be a shepherd and not be one. So I think it comes down to the authenticity of the shepherd. And I think that that is an important thing.
I've just realized an amazing reference. Only people that look.
Okay. I mean, I'm open-minded. I'm not
Get it?
like
Get it? Get it? Get it? I don't know if you'll get this super.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're arguing for. I totally see it, but I'm wondering if you see what I'm arguing.
Do you see the inside NE joke?
Yes, because it's like with Jesus. It's like Jesus is the shepherd, you know?
Jesus is the shepherd of people. How well is he?
Yeah, and I think that that is a good thing. But I think that in terms of human relations, I think you
No,
got to.
that was just a random joke to support my argument, but not really.
Oh, I think that that's a funny thing. We've been hammering things, and I've just been off in la la land. I don't hate the government. I don't know. I don't hate the government. I just hate how people have operated in the government. That's the problem I've had. I argue for them that they do the shit they do.
If we're talking about people here, I suppose that would depend entirely on the people themselves and the government that they are under.
Yeah, but she hates the fact that the government deceives and shit. And it sounds like super paranoid.
Yes, I agree that probably can and does happen. Not to everyone. But what's wrong with that exactly? Do you think in the current state of things as they are now that people would be able to survive without a government? Having been raised with one as such? On the subject of actual sheep, many breeds cannot survive without human intervention. It's been bred out of them. I believe the same to be true of most people in this society. If it isn't natural, then what is it? Is that the definition of something that is not natural? What about creatures that were sort of designed by humans? There are many kinds of plants and animals that have been modified over generations. Is that natural? 4? Oh dear.
What? I'm a sensory inferior, alright? It's my fourth function. No, it's
But Chloe, they do exist right now in the same way that shepherded people do. And I don't think we can undo that anytime soon. I suppose some of them may continue to exist. It would probably have to be some kind of disease and not an environmental factor to make all human beings go extinct. So what about elephants and otters and wolves? They modify the landscape with how they live, and they even control animal populations by their own behaviors. Is that considered more natural than human behaviors and human control? What constitutes as damage in your eyes?
Alright, maybe.
I think the same could be said of some species of flies, Chloe. I really don't see human beings as any different than any other animal on here. Soon we may be gone, maybe not. Perhaps we will take care of ourselves. And at the beginning of the topic, what was the argument being made? That we would be better off without a government?
Okay. Spacey's back.
Hello.
Hi. Haven't seen you in a while.
Don't worry, baby. I'm back.
Ooh.
You don't have to
Nice.
worry. I'm gonna open this window.
How far out is it now?
I'm sweaty. Is anyone else sweaty?
No. So these trends that you're seeing, Chloe, just the people around you? And do you suppose it's going to continue or get worse or resolve itself?